What is going on, Future Focus family? My name is George. That's Matt. And we got special guest Don Heavy with us today. What's going on, gentlemen?
What's up, everybody? What's going
Chilling,
on?
chilling. What's up? Loud and clear.
Chilling. Yeah, so we came up with this little impromptu segment. The first thing I wanted to talk about was Palantir. I'm not sure if you're tracking Don Heavy, but Palantir, they bought $50 million worth of the physical gold. For those who don't know, Palantir, they're like a firm that people use because they have analytic programs and things that are supposed to be analytical towards the future, and they're supposed to be predictive. They're supposed to, so when I see a company like that buying $50 million worth of gold, it kind of like points things out, you know what I mean? But one thing I wanted to make clear, because we spoke about this earlier this week, is that 50 million sounds like a lot to us, but it wasn't a big part of their balance sheet that they turned into physical gold. So they really only ended up doing about less than 1% of their portfolio in physical gold because they have about $2 billion in cash. They have a pretty healthy balance sheet. But Don Heavy, when you see a company that, like, because Tesla, they put money in Bitcoin, Grayscale, they put money in Bitcoin, but now you see a company putting money into physical gold. Like, what do you think about that?
I mean, well, you said it was 1%, so it looked like they're using it as hedging. But for me, in my opinion, you know how I get down. I think it's a smart move, especially with in light of recent events with the hacking that happened very recently. I think it's really smart on their part, regardless of what they believe in. Regardless of what they believe in, with all the analytical skills that they have and all the quantum, aspects of the game. I just think it's a really smart move.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think, Matt? Being that your picture is gold and silver.
Yeah, I'm about to switch it on y'all in a few. So it's weird, right? It's weird. Not to break it down and go all conspiracy theory, but yes, it's a small percentage of their cash on hand. But to be honest with you, I don't even know if they could buy that much at one time, even if they wanted to. Like the market is so tight. I don't.
I
Even
would
know
think
if they,
that I would think that somebody purchasing that much would have like priority. You know what I mean? Like they would make sure they get theirs before the regular retail are getting their.
So, and then that's what makes it weird, because now you bring up a whole nother point of, why they buying that? They could be buying Bitcoin, they could be buying Ethereum. There's so many other things that a tech company like them would and should and could buy, but it's just very weird that even if they're buying a small percentage, that was the first thing. You know what I mean? Like, percentages are one thing, but when it's your first option, I don't know. It's a little weird, and I'm not even saying in a good way. Like, it's kind of scary, honestly.
Can you see like other companies following suit? Would you be surprised if Tesla next quarterly earning reports that they bought 50 million worth of gold as well?
Oh man, hold on. Let me come in on this side of the chat.
All right.
My fault. I gotta, get my little fitted going. But take my little camera off. But yeah, so word on the street. So they were saying that Tesla already bought some gold. Like that's what word on the street is. I haven't seen many sources confirm it, but they said that Elon has already been buying gold. But what he needs more than gold
is silver.
Man, talk to him. Please take that
I
over.
mean, if he making batteries, I mean, not to cut you off. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to, I just wanted to jump in real quick, not to cut you off. But if he's making batteries, he definitely needs silver. And he need that other thing. What's that other thing, Matt?
Oh, you talking about copper?
Copper?
No.
You need that too, though.
Nickel?
He needs that too. Nah, it's the oh man, come on, man. It's that other thing. What's the word?
Not platinum.
No,
Nah.
what's the word? We come on, man. Come on, Matt. Come on, Matt.
Come on, bro. There's over 100 elements on the periodic table, man.
Is it because I don't want to sound crazy on the stream. Is it uranium?
He doesn't need not directly, but yes. Not
But we're not gonna
directly.
talk about that. We're not gonna talk about that.
That's
But
a
silver,
good call. That's a
but
good call.
silver,
That's a
he
very good
definitely needs
call.
silver if he making those batteries. I do know that.
He does need uranium, though. He does need uranium. That's actually a good call. Maybe not directly, but that's the cleanest way to power anything on a massive scale right now.
Yeah, I mean, matter of fact, I just found this. I'll share it with you. Hold on. Let me close this up. All right. Elon Musk says EVs to drive increased demand for nuclear uranium. EV sales may double the demand for electricity. EV industry executive Elon Musk, in an interview in Germany, stated that electricity demand will likely double over the next 2 decades as a result of the update of electric vehicles. This does not take into account increased demand that may result from other sources, such as increased population, growing reliance on digital services, etc. To meet demand, Musk added that to do this, we have to increase the capacities of wind, solar, and nuclear power plants. However, given that wind does not always blow, the sun does not always shine, he noted that nuclear power might be necessary to meet tomorrow's need for electricity. So, I mean, he's not against it. This may lead to increased demand for uranium. Uranium is the main ingredient needed to produce nuclear energy. Anything that increases demand for nuclear energy also has the potential to increase demand for uranium. Now, a billionaire that is getting really deep into that is Bill Gates.
I mean, we
Bill
don't
Gates uranium.
we don't come on here telling false information, man.
Look,
Bill
the
Gates
reason.
company Terra Power. Go ahead.
Look, nah, I was just gonna say I'm not going to front. I'm not here to front. You know what I mean? The reason why I passed the ball to Matt when I said that is because Matt was the one that put me on to the uranium.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
He's telling my secrets. He's telling my secrets, man.
He's been touting the uranium. Yeah, yeah, it's a commodity. I mean, you're smart for that, man. Like, no matter what happens, we're gonna end up needing this stuff forever,
regardless of anything. Regardless.
Yeah. So yesterday I was watching the latest episode of Billions because the new one comes out today. So I was watching the last one before the season finale, and it's funny. They took a. Did y'all watch that episode? The last episode?
I mean, I did. This was before the pandemic, right? When they released
so
that.
he took a pill. They all took that pill. It was supposed to be like the limitless.
Yeah. And but they were making like crazy choices.
Yeah. So
crazy
he had a big play. He had a big play, which was smart. Like, it sounded really smart to dig into a meteor in order to get all that gold and silver. But the other girl, I can't remember her name, the real smart one.
Taylor.
Went up to Taylor. So Taylor goes at the end, goes up to him and like, all right, so let's say it does work out for you and you do burn that all down. Now you're gonna have the scarcity factor of it is gonna go away, and you're gonna have like a mass surplus of it around, which is gonna crush the price of it because there's so much around. Right now, what makes gold and silver and copper valuable is the scarcity of it, the amount that's out there. What do you guys think about these billionaires like Elon Musk and fucking Jeff Bezos going to space to try to dig on these asteroids to get all these rare metals? What do you think that would do to us down here?
I think it's a beautiful thing, because think about how much money that takes to mine it all the way up there. That's not cheap.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that's like a debt play.
That's a what?
A debt play. You know, it's just more money for more work.
Yeah. But let's say they are successful and they can mine it. And well, Elon Musk, he says his plans is to mine it in space for space. So like if they do get a meteor, if SpaceX does end up acquiring a meteor and they're able to dig it, they're gonna build stuff in space to continue the pursuit to Mars. Like, so they're not gonna grab that stuff and bring it back to Earth. They're gonna use it in space. Whereas you have Jeff Bezos, who does want to bring some of that stuff
into doing something like that, it just makes it more valuable, and it's not gonna work against like the supply of it here, because if that's happening, then demand is going to increase incredibly.
Yeah, I mean, demand is already high right now, especially with all these semiconductor shortages. We have vehicles that, people aren't buying. A lot of the old style vehicles, a lot of people bought vehicles during the pandemic, even though they were locked up. When they wanted to go back to work, they didn't want to use mass transportation, so they ended up buying a lot of vehicles. And now a lot of people are holding off to, trade them in for a new vehicle. As the price of these electric vehicles comes down, they're getting more comparable to the price of the not electric vehicle. And we just don't have enough electric vehicles out there. Enough, like everything uses chips. You got Nvidia who's short. You got AMD who's short.
What are they short of exactly? What commodity? And that's what they're not. If you ever notice, that's what they're not revealing. They're saying they're short on chips. But I feel like it's a certain. And I'm really asking. This is not like a setup play. I'm not a boxer here. I'm not. This is not set up for the round. This is not the setup punch. But I really genuinely want to know what's stopping them from making these chips. They keep saying supply chain interruptions, but I need a little bit more than that, more detail.
Well, the supply chain interruption was earlier on, as everything was reopening. A lot of that was due to, because a lot of that stuff comes from overseas. You have things coming from South Korea, Taiwan. We have a lot of the stuff, like a lot of the chips are not made there, but they're finished and built there. One of the companies I'm invested in is called ASX. They are the ones who make those wafers. Like, they build the wafers and they finish the product off in order to be used. And now you have companies like Apple who are doing it themselves. But in the beginning, it was the supply chain issue, especially what happened in the Suez Canal. Y'all remember when that ship got stuck sideways?
Oh my God, that was so fake. I'm sorry.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean?
The timing of it was just so weird. That's never happened before.
It was perfect time.
Now we're in the setting of inflationary prices. What a good reason to blame the ship for it. That, how the hell a ship like that could just sit sideways many days? I'm not saying things don't happen. I just find it so weird it happened when it happened. I just find that it's just weird.
So you guys don't, like, you guys think it's like, what you guys think happened?
Hold on. Wait a second.
What's your theory?
Before we jump on that, you was saying something, George. You was saying, all right, that was the problem, but now you were saying, what's the problem now?
Now it's not the supply chain issue anymore. Most of the supply chains have opened up. So now the problem is, like you guys said, they're all missing something. But what, like Matt is saying, what is it? I mean, could it be nickel? Could it be gold or silver? It's hard to tell because a lot of the prices have peaked. And if it was that much shortage, then I would think that, just like lumber like went crazy. It went parabolic and then it peaked, and it's since fallen a lot. So what do you guys, like, what's the theory? What do you guys think?
Do you not see you're not reading my avatar?
I can't, that thing's too small.
Okay. All right.
Ex-Merrill Lynch gold traders found guilty in
spoofing trial. Oh yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah. All right. You asked me what I thought.
So all right. So there's two things here. So one thing, the supply chain issue, right? Is it real? To some degree, it is. And why am I saying that? Is because since the supply chain issue.
This is my boy, by the way. This is my boy Brian.
How you doing?
What's up, Brian?
McMillan.
What's going on?
McMillan, what's the word, family?
Don Heavy.
So
What's up?
he
What's up? What's up?
What's going on?
he
Sorry,
has a
guys.
lot of ties to Wall Street. Also, a former Wall Street head. So his input is well needed, well valued. He from Harlem.
Oh, what's up? What's up, Brian?
What's going
Welcome,
on, bro?
Brian. What up?
Thank
What
you,
up?
guys. I'm on my way to work too, so if I get I'm in and out, moving and
Copy
shaking,
it.
but I'm definitely listening to what you guys are saying. Let me mute my mic because there's a lot of noise in the back.
All right, good
But
to go.
thank you guys for letting me join this.
Absolutely, absolutely. Cut the niceties. We're here to talk money.
So,
Cut the niceties.
so check it out. So the supply chain issue, right? It's a real thing because since the beginning, I've been going to one of my favorite places, Starbucks, and they are having real supply chain issues. I have not been able to get my toffee nut syrup. Know what I mean? I have not been able
Don't
to
lie.
get.
You know you're looking for that spice pumpkin latte.
Hey, no.
Listen.
You know that's seasonal. That's seasonal. You know what I'm saying? So that's about to come back through
It's
right
coming.
now.
It's coming.
You know what
It's
I mean?
coming.
It's coming back. You feel me? It's coming back right now. But before, I was doing something a little different. But
Oh, okay.
I've been looking for my cinnamon dulce, and they don't have that as well, and they don't have any real answers for me. I know the answers, the supply chain issues, right? So that's one side of it. But the other side is, that one missing aspect of what all these companies are missing when it comes to making these chips. If it is silver, now I don't go buying chips, right? I'm not that smart, but I do buy silver, and I bought some silver that did not have to be imported from somewhere else from us some months back, and I still haven't gotten it. Still have not received it.
Wow. Was that from like a main exchange?
That's from the government.
Oh, okay. So you ordered coins like the.
And they finessed me, bro, because they didn't tell me. They didn't tell. Now this is the government, right? They, like we supposed to be trusting them. They didn't tell me, oh, we're gonna have this for you some months from now. Now they was like, nah, get it now. We're gonna take your money, get it now, and and you'll get it. You'll receive it now.
What you talking about?
I'm talking about the coins from the U.S. Mint.
Yeah. All right. Continue.
You know what I mean?
Go ahead and
talk
about that.
They didn't tell us that we were gonna receive it later on. It was like you get it now. You pay us now. You'll receive it now. So we paid them, and then after about a couple days, that's when they let us know that we wouldn't. It was delayed, but not delayed a couple weeks. It was delayed like 6 months. Know what I mean? And if I'm looking at things from the ground floor, I'm like, okay, that's a real issue. That's not a small issue. That's a real issue.
But doesn't it like bother you guys that you guys are investing in, and I'm including myself but I don't buy it as much as you guys do, like the physical. Doesn't it bother you guys that you guys are investing in it, but the price is manipulated and held down so much? Like, does that, like, how do you guys feel about that?
So I ask him this question every day. I'm gonna let him answer it. And the funny thing is, Brian asks me this question, and I ask Don Heavy this question every day. Please answer that, bro.
Hello? Y'all there?
Hello. Let me see. He's still there?
Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we do now. Yeah.
Oh, my fault. I was getting a call. My fault. By the way, I don't really tell people this, but today's my birthday. Know what I mean?
Oh, so, happy birthday, bro!
So everybody's calling me. Yeah,
thank
you. Yeah, everybody's calling me. That's what's happening. So to answer that question, do I have negative feelings towards it? No, absolutely not. Because since the beginning, even through all the manipulation, the price of silver has only gone up. Gold as well. Now, I mean, since I've been purchasing it from the beginning, and actually with all the manipulation, I say thank you. You know what I mean? Because if it was to go up as much as it should, because think about it like this: they only manipulate things that matter. Things that don't matter, they don't manipulate. right? But when it really matters to a degree, way farther, way more, way heavier than what they let on, then that's when the heavy manipulation comes in. So through all the manipulation, I feel so stupid that I didn't buy more when it was only $11, $12, $13, $15. Like through all of that, we've been buying it. And I feel so stupid. Stupid. Now you talking now I'm talking about it like this, and we already discussed way back in the past that you talking to somebody that heard about Bitcoin when it was how much. I don't want to get to line. How much was it when I told you about it, Matt?
I want to say
Probably
around
less than $1.
962.
Oh, okay.
962.
This is a minute ago.
Yeah.
And I don't feel stupid about that.
It peaked at 960, kind of like how it peaked at 60K earlier. It peaked at 962 and it crashed to like 200 after you told me about it.
Yeah, so here we got
this was a minute ago. What year is that?
So this is the silver price.
Silver.
Yeah, so this is silver from 1974 until now. So yeah, man, you had people had a long period, especially down here. It was around
big facts.
Topped up $9.32. So it was like a long time. And
big facts.
I know you say you might, like you said, you feel dumb for not purchasing at 11 or 12. I mean, do you guys think that it could go back to that level? It topped out at $52. Matt, you want to talk about the brothers and why it ended up topping at this part? What happened here? A little bit of history. Go ahead, talk about the
research
brothers
over there. You learning?
Talking about the Hunts?
Yeah,
talking about the Hunts.
George, knowledgeable over there. What is he doing?
Yeah, talk about what happened here in February and why there was a huge spike here. What happened? Tell them how that compares to Wall Street bets and now, and like how you how there's some correlation.
So long story short, I'm gonna talk about it and I'm gonna give you a fun fact.
Okay.
Long story short, yes, the Hunts brother. By the way, do you know who the Hunts, like who they own now, or what organization they're a part of now?
Nah,
George, they own the Chiefs. They own the Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, if you look up the Hunts family, they own the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But anyway,
serious.
They tried to corner the market, and they tried to get the Middle Eastern powerhouses involved, a lot of Saudi families involved, but the establishment. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna give you a lot of background knowledge. They say that the Trading Places movie, they say that's also based on the Hunt brothers. So that just shows you how powerful they are in the I guess in the financial background. Also, I was watching a documentary on, it's called Remote Spying. And long story short, the CIA has a group, CIA and Russian agencies as well. They have a group of spies that all they do is they spy through people through meditation. It sounds weird, but it supposedly works. That's how a lot of major countries spy on each other. Long story short, they said their secret is when things are hidden in the physical world, it shines a light on it spiritually. The documentary is on Amazon. What's Amazon? It's on Amazon Prime, by the way. You can check it out. And they said they wanted to test they always work for the government, but they never use these powers financially. And the first place they tested it out was in the silver markets around 1980. And they quote unquote predicted the rise of silver. So and interesting in itself. But anyway, the Hunt brothers, they tried to corner it, and essentially, from what I understand, the Rockefellers essentially shut it down because they knew that our entire financial system is based on the dollar. a rising commodity price in silver or gold is going to show a weaker dollar. That's just not good for business. So since then, the COMEX has put regulations. You can only buy so many silver and gold. You can only buy so many contracts. Never again would they allow you to quote unquote corner it. But here's the fun fact: I said Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, they said own more silver in late 1998, 99 than the Hunts brothers ever did. And they say JP Morgan currently owns more than Warren Buffett did in 1998, 99. So you notice every 10 to 15 years, you kind of notice, I don't know, people stocking up. So it begs the question of why and what's going on.
Yeah, so the here's just a little chart that shows what kind of happened. In the early 1970s, the Hunt brothers, they started buying it as against a hedge against inflation. In 1973, the brothers accumulated about 200,000 ounces. In 1974, they accumulated future contracts for 55 million ounces of silver. In 1975, Bunker meets with the Shah of Iran to talk him into investing in silver. So he even went out of bounds with it. In 1979, the brothers buy more than 43 million ounces of silver through the futures exchanges with a delivery schedule to take place in the fall. Prices double in 2 months to $16. The Hunts buy more, sending prices to $34.45. January 17, 1980, silver hits $50 an ounce to intraday trading. The Hunts, $1 billion in silver, now worth $4.5 billion. COMEX suspends the trading of silver and then severely restricts it. And going just back here, the reason they were only buying silver, it even says it here, gold could not be held by private citizens at the time. When did that stop? Like 1935, they confiscated silver? Was it like
I think I want to say in 34, that's when it started. Not silver but gold. They had the FDR. I can't remember the name of the act, but it started in 1934, and all American citizens had to turn in their gold so we could shore up the essentially our reserves, the national reserves. We were depleted of gold due to the Great. But notice we weren't in the levels of debt that we were in either.
So March 26, 1980, on Silver Thursday, the value of silver falls by more than 50% to 1080. Do you guys think that was manipulation?
Of course. It gives it away when it says the restrictions. You know, and this is my thing. Let supply and demand play itself out. Why we always have restrictions on how much you could buy, and let supply and demand play. Like you had the paper contracts to hedge. Okay, let supply and demand work its way out.
You know what this reminds me of here, and the reason I compared it to Wall Street bets, because it's like that day when GME, GameStop kept going up and they stopped trading. Yeah, and Robinhood stopped the trading at that time. People were getting upset.
There you go.
And then the price collapsed because they had no choice but to collapse. And you know, some people are still holding that bag. Just keep that in mind for all the viewers. If the price of something was at an all-time high, somebody was buying it at that time because somebody had to be willing to pay that price in order for it. So there's years that people are still waiting for silver to hit a $50 an ounce since 1980. So just something to keep in mind. So just taking a bigger step out, we could look at what silver has done year to date.
But I want to throw this out there too. How much was $50 back in 1980?
$50. I mean, that's heavy, man. That was like a paycheck.
Yeah,
like people were getting.
There you go.
People were getting $50 a week.
But compared to now, how much is $50?
Because of inflation, it's probably like $2,000.
I'm gonna say so. When you look at
when you put in the calculator,
when you put in the calculator, right? It's according to the calculator, it says 160. I think that's rubbish. It's more equivalent to like $600 today. Probably more though, right? So when you were a teenager, right? How much was fit? What could you buy with $50?
Well, I know that when you went to the grocery store to get a quarter water, they were actually a quarter, and they're not a quarter no more. So, yeah, gum was
But
25 cents. Is like what 45 cents now.
but am I wrong
A
for
bag of
saying in the
chips was
early
25
'90s?
cents. They $1
Mm,
now.
Yeah,
mm,
and that was 25 cents, not for the main name brand. I remember buying Bravo nachos chips. I don't know if y'all remember that.
wow,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
I remember buying the Bravos, thinking like these don't taste right, but whatever. I'm gonna buy
Yeah, yeah. I don't remember when Coca-Cola was like $1 a bottle.
Yeah, man. Uh, but not you're right. We've seen it in our lifetime, inflation. But we've also seen wave tops. Like I know there was a time when gas was like $4 a gallon, 4.50 a gallon, and that was big for the time because it had jumped from like $1.69 the year prior, but it dropped down. It dropped back down. The one thing that's consistent is inflation. So that quarter water a year from now may be $1 water, as prices continue to rise and continue to go up. But yeah, that's crazy to think about. One thing I'd like to ask you, gentlemen, if you don't want to share, you don't have to. But how much of your portfolio is in physical, whatever, like
Oh
gold
man,
or
that's a
silver?
hard
Like
question.
I'll tell you mine. I have it's gone down because I haven't purchased any recently, but I it was at 5% at one point, but since then it's come down. Like as Cardano kept jumping up, my portfolio size of
Good. That's
physical
good.
has reduced, but I plan to buy more. Um,
Congratulations.
but like, how much of your portfolio do you guys keep in physical?
Oh man, so it's not that I don't want to answer. It's hard because when you've been collecting this stuff, I don't know if you measure. I don't know if Don Heavy measures every ounce. Honestly, I lost track. But if I had an estimate,
Yeah, I don't count.
So but you guys don't have like an ideal part of your portfolio that you keep uh in physical.
On,
how
on
much
on the
can I
real,
do?
son, on the real, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real. When I'm investing in everything else,
Yeah, yeah.
um, I'm investing, right? Like that's how it's all about the numbers for me. But when I'm investing in that, son, I don't. That's not. It's a different experience. So that's why it's hard for me to really answer that question because
Yeah.
I'm like a little hermit. You know, I'm just
Yeah,
I'm just stacking. I don't really know. I can't tell you. Like for me to tell you that, I would really have to be like, oh, okay, like paying attention to the numbers. But I'm not doing that.
yeah. Okay,
I'm
okay.
just
Yeah,
getting it.
but
I surprise myself sometimes when I look at it. I'm like, oh damn, I got this much. Oh shit.
I try to organize my entire portfolio. I guess because it's what the professionals do. So I try to like make myself feel better. But yeah, I try to keep like a certain amount of the percentage. So I'm never too heavy on one thing. And then, if that makes sense.
I,
But yeah, that's what I
I
was asking.
I'm gonna say I'm at like this is just a rough estimate. I'm gonna say let's say 40% right now.
Okay. And what's the rest
40%.
in?
God, so hard. It's so hard. I'm gonna say another. Let's say another 30% in actual miners, and
Okay.
then
So
the
altogether in commodities, you're like 90%.
oh you yeah. If you talk about because we're not even talking about my copper positions, my uranium positions. So commodities.
Damn, you're
Damn.
95%
Oh,
commodity.
and I have water too. I have water too. But yeah, I would
What?
easily say 90 to 90. Yeah. Oh, no, because my Bitcoin position really ran up. So let's say 80%.
So what do you mean water? You're into water. Fill us in on that. What's that mean?
So this is long ago, man. Like I invested in American Waterworks. They're the water company throughout the Northeast, specifically New Jersey.
Mhm.
And I working for a water company previously, I was like, let me read the annual report. And then I found out that this company essentially they receive, for lack of better words, let's say subsidies from the city in order to so it's almost like a built-in tax break. And this is long before the infrastructure bill. And I said to myself, water companies constantly have to repair their infrastructure. So let me buy in now, and by the next time the next infrastructure repair comes through, they would have already profited, since the city or state is going to pay for it. They just have to run the system. And then sure enough, the infrastructure bill is now on the table. So I've seen my money, nothing, no Bitcoin numbers, but I would say it doubled with a steady dividend.
Yeah, so that's great, man. And yeah, you don't need to see your. I hate, honestly, man. I hate if I invest in something and it jumps up 100% or something like that. Not trying to sound cocky or anything like that, but then I have to sell it, and I don't want to. When I'm unless it's the options, unless I'm doing options, then yeah, I plan to sell them. I usually don't like. If I buy calls, my goal at the end of it usually is not to get 100 shares of whatever company.
But that's what you do. You the 10x king. I call you Mr. XXXX.
Yeah, but that hurt me last year on taxes when I had to pay all them taxes back.
He said it hurt me.
Yeah, but I heard somebody say, I think it was on Billions, to be honest. I think they said, like, if you're not paying taxes, that means you're not winning, you know what I mean, or something like that. That means you're not making money. Or maybe it was the backwards, like if you're paying taxes, that means you made money, so that's a good thing. But yeah, I think I rather see it grow slowly, and to me it feels like I made a better call. If I see it, if it's worth 8% more than it was worth last year, I'm happy with that.
But you like the short-term trades. You know that's not who you gassing on here, man. You like the short-term trades.
I do, but not with a big piece of my stock portfolio. That's like if it's a speculative thing, then that'll be less than 5% of what I put into stocks. So Don Heavy, are you like, what kind of stocks do you invest in? Do you invest in the stock market? Are you into just miners too, like Matt?
Yeah, I do. I invest
kind of
in
stuff?
Things that I know. Things
Okay.
that think like I said, I'll be on the ground floor with it. So things that I know, I'll do the research, and I take it from there. But first I have to like it. I have to personally like it. It's like my fashion. Like I have to personally like it before I try to put somebody else onto it. So for stocks, I have to personally like it. And then if I personally like it, which Matt could tell you, I don't like a lot of things. I'm real critical of a lot of shit. So if I personally like it, then I'll do the research. And then if it really tickles my fancy from there, then I'll get it.
Has your perspective changed on cryptocurrency? I know last time we talked, this was like 6 months ago, you said you were using Bitcoin as like you were using it to trade it or whatever, just trying to make some money off of it, but you weren't really a believer. Has any of that changed for you, or you still feel the same?
Absolutely not. In fact, with this whole, we spoke about this 6 months ago, that we mentioned hacking, and with this just occurring recently,
I got something for George.
I have even more of a negative sentiment. Now, when I say that, going back to it, I don't want anybody holding me accountable. I do think it is important. I do think it'll play in the future. But right now, with all the speculation and everything, I'm not really, if I'm gonna put my last dollar somewhere, it's definitely not gonna be there.
All right, so you're just not in a rush to see, like, you want to see how it plays out.
So do you
exactly?
regret,
I'd rather put my money some.
Do you regret not investing in Bitcoin in 2013?
No, he said he didn't.
I already touched on that. No, no, I don't feel any type of way.
Yeah, and
absolutely not.
I empathize there, bro, because like I told Matt, I bought AMC before all this crazy things happened because of fundamentals. I even went to Matt. We were in Australia, and I went up to him.
I remember that.
I'm like, yo, Matt, I know this is kind of a speculative play, but I think AMC has dropped down to a point where it's viable. I could see it, and this was like $2. It was a $2 range, and I'm like, I'm gonna buy. I bought 400 shares, and I wanted to share with him because I thought it was like a plan where
Still.
it's like, yeah, it's a steal. I thought it was a great plan, but I didn't see all this stuff happening. I sold out at 20, and it went all the way up to 80, and I didn't regret selling at 20. I did, even though I could have made freaking, it could have probably turned into a $1 million trade. I didn't regret it because I never want to get to the point where I'm regretting things and then it changes the mentality of the way you do things later on, and you end up holding a little too long because
I
you don't want
always
that
tell that
feeling
to Matt.
again.
I always say that if you start being successful at things that are bad fundamentally, it'll just weaken your discipline, and you'll start doing more of that in future. And something else that's true in all aspects of life, George. So you should never feel bad because pigs always get slaughtered.
That's George's favorite saying, by the way.
Yeah,
pigs always get slaughtered.
Yeah, man. So what I did, man, because fundamentally it didn't make sense, even at like 12, So when it got to 20, it got to 20 quick. So I sold out there. I think I sold like a few there, and then it fell to 18 for a little bit, and I sold the rest there. When it got to 80, I bought puts on it because I'm like, this does not make sense at all. And the puts paid off for me as well because it fell all the way back down to the 40. So I made money on the upside, and because I trusted in myself, I was able to benefit on the downside as well. So have confidence if you've been investing and it's been working for you, even if it doesn't seem like it's gonna work out for you, like have confidence in your own abilities. You know what I mean? And if you do get crushed at one point, learn from that experience.
But I want to give you the flip side.
Go ahead, man.
So I want to say me and Don Heavy own AMC. I definitely in 2018. I bought AMC at 22 and went up to 25. Then it went
I think you told me that. It
went up to 27, and it had a dividend. And honestly, low key, that's one of me and Don Heavy's favorite spots is the movie theaters. And one day I woke up, it crashed to 20. It went to 27 to 20. I was reading the articles, and I was like, man, people don't think it's the future. And I went back and forth. For whatever reason, I sold.
Was this pre-pandemic?
This is I want to say this is like 2018. So I bought it in like 2015. I sold it in 2018. I can't remember if I sold it for a loss, but it's somewhere near. Let's say I bought it at 22. I probably sold it at 20. And a couple years later, I see the thing at $2.
Yeah, so I mean, you pulled out, you saved yourself there, and that's good, man. So I could understand why when you saw that $2, you probably still had that feeling of like, I got slaughtered by this one.
Yeah,
so that's probably my signal to stay away from it at that point.
Yeah,
so I could see that. I could understand that as well.
Yeah.
So let me bring.
And I like the company. I loved it fundamentally.
Yeah. Even compared to the like companies, like you have Cinemark, Cineworld, the other big ones. You think AMC is big?
At the time, yes, but I didn't realize now how antisocial this generation is. This generation coming up behind us, and I'm not trying to be rude or anything. They rather do things at home. They don't like going out. It's just a different culture for them. So
yeah, it is. Some of them go to the movies and they're on their phone.
Right? No, big facts. So it was a couple things at play today that wasn't at play when I first bought it. So yeah,
and it was one of those ground floor plays. Like we went to the movie theaters, we experienced it. AMC was bringing.
Mm.
You know, experience as far as experience goes, AMC was right. So it was
Yeah,
easy play.
Mm.
but you're right. Like the fundamentals have changed. That's
Yeah.
why the housing market was kind of struggling for a while because the millennials, they weren't buying houses. They all wanted to move to the city, and this whole pandemic kind of switched that around. This might be a conversation for another day, but a lot of people moved out of the cities into more country style areas where they got more space, they get more bang for their buck, and they're willing to take the 1 hour drive to the city and then take the 1 hour drive home.
But I don't think we out the woods yet with that. I don't
So
think
you
we
think
out
that's
the
going to
woods yet.
continue?
I think all I'm gonna say is more disruptions to come. We're gonna see if the Fed tapers. We have this major storm, unprecedented flooding in the Northeast.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's gonna be some more changes. Let's see if the rent moratorium actually ends. We're going through an unprecedented time in real estate. One thing's for sure, it's either gonna go up or down, but I don't see things just staying steady. I don't see things staying the same. It has to be a shakeup somewhere.
Yeah. But guess we got like 12 minutes left. Any final thoughts?
As far as real estate goes, we definitely got to see what's going on because all these and I've been in Chicago, New York, Atlanta, and all of these major cities. They're building in the city, you know, in the metropolitan areas. They are building. There's construction everywhere. So we definitely going to see what's happening, what will unfold.
There was a lot of pauses around construction that was actually happening because the price of lumber like skyrocketed, and a lot of the construction companies had to stop their projects and then go tell the people they were building for, like, if you want us to continue, we need to raise the amount that you're paying us. Like, I know we had a contract for this much, but at that price, like, we're losing a lot of money because the price of lumber went up. But since then, the price of lumber has calmed down, so they've been able to recoup some of those losses. But yeah, I think it's wait and see. I'm on the sidelines in the housing market. Besides refinancing my house it just made sense to refinance, so I refinanced my house in North Carolina. I've already paid off the one here in Virginia, so I'm just on standby. My wife and I are probably going to buy. Our goal is to buy to start with 3 townhouses right next to each other. It'll be a little easier to manage, but that's like our next. But definitely not at these prices. It's definitely a seller's market at this point. But yeah, so we're on the sidelines in the housing market as well. Everything's at all-time highs. I mean, it's not really. I'm not in a rush to jump into something where a year from now prices could be like $50,000 less than they are now. Things always get exaggerated to the upside. That's why houses are like $200,000 more than their actual value. And then they'll get exaggerated on the downside, and you just got to be quick with it, because I think people are going to start picking those up quick when they get really, really low. So just something to look forward to there.
I mean, we gonna see. We gonna see.
When you get back to the States, Matt?
Let's say March, April-ish time frame.
And where you going, New York?
Yeah.
Nice. You still plan on doing the legal thing?
I'm looking into it. I'm gonna float my resume out there. I want to take my CFA.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's great, man.
Yeah, I want to take my CFA. I know
Well,
JP Morgan hiring associates starting at 175.
I
So
saw that. Yeah,
I'm about to take a look.
there's definitely no shortage of jobs right now.
Yeah.
There's about 10 million jobs out there, and yeah, the banks, a lot of the ones that have brokerages are hiring at the cyclic rate people to manage a lot of those brokerage accounts. That's one of the big things right now. And yeah, the pay is competitive because there's such an influx of like jobs out there that the people that are looking for jobs, they actually have the ability to like negotiate their pay, which is great. That's
Well,
something
you gotta love Gen Z. So I know Wall Street was very upset because they couldn't retain talent. There's like all the young kids are getting burnt out. So at first the incentive was, oh, we'll give you a boxing class for free if you come work for it. And they're like, the hell with a boxing class? I'm gonna need some
yeah,
money.
yeah,
And you seen the crazy increment, like entry level jobs on Wall Street now are going for 100,000 starting,
yeah.
which is crazy. Not all, but a lot of the major ones, 100,000.
And that's that's great for them, but a lot they're competing with people starting their own businesses. Like people are
That is
like
true.
opening, it's so easy to work from home with your own online business. You can sell things on Amazon, you can sell things on Shopify, you can sell things on Facebook. So a lot of people are just loving that. You have the people being influencers. There's people making money in a lot of different ways,
Absolutely,
and
absolutely,
and these companies are like fighting over talent right now. um,
absolutely.
yeah, man. But unless y'all got any last words, any last comments,
Um, I gotta ask you a question, real quick
go ahead.
question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Bitcoin becoming a major uh currency, either major currency or store of value.
The reason I say store value, I'll say store value. I don't think it'll ever replace anything. The reason I say store value is just the scarcity. Like there'll be 21 million Bitcoin, and then the protocol will end. There'll no longer ever be any more Bitcoin. Coupled with something you brought up earlier this week, which people are going to lose their phones, people are going to lose access to it some way, somehow, which means the people that don't lose access, it'll just become that much more valuable to them because of the scarcity
Mm.
issue. Um, I'm not bearish on gold or silver either, but that's where the competing interest is. I think once that protocol ends and there's no more Bitcoin being mined anymore, I think the price will level out at that point. I'm not saying it'll level out at $1 million. I'm just saying that the amount of the amount it fluctuates on a daily basis will kind of come down a little bit, subside um, once the amount is at a scarce amount.
So somebody brought up a very interesting point. I was watching one of the. I don't know if you've seen them lately. There's been a lot of Bitcoin and gold debaters. So the last one I saw was between Scaramucci, the Mooch, versus Peter Schiff. And what Peter Schiff said, I found very interesting. He said Bitcoin has been birthed in a bull market, and we've only seen it perform during a bull market the entire time. It's we haven't seen it go through all the cycles like a lot of other financial instruments have gone through. So the jury's still out. It's a lot, and that's what opportunity is, right? Because it could go to $1 million, but the reverse can happen as well. So I'm not. me- I'm interested as somebody who's invested in it. I'm still not sold. I'm just not. I'm not sold. I
Do you
want to
think
be
it'll
sold.
be? Do you think it'll be $20,000 first, or do you see it
Ooh.
going to $100,000 first?
Hopefully for me, it goes to 100,000. I as a current owner, I would love to see it go up. It's just I just get a weird feeling in my stomach, man. I know people that say, "Oh, it doesn't matter," but when China banned it, I'm like, "What the hell is going on here? Why did they ban it?"
Yeah,
And who's next? Or is China just missing the boat?
I'm not saying they're missing their boat. I mean, it just
Didn't
they're
Cuba? Didn't Cuba ban it
they're
too?
yeah, but
Nah, Cuba adopted it, I thought.
these are communist places. They're centralized places. They're very against a decentralized way of doing something, just
Mm.
because they want to have mass control of everything. So um, I think we could get to that here in the United States, but we can't even agree on a $3 million infrastructure bill. It takes it's going to take 2 years to make this thing pass. Something that we obviously need infrastructure, you know, especially with, like we talked about, we have all these vents that are destroying people. My dad's house got flooded in New Jersey.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. What city?
Dang.
I think it's Newark. It's like really close to the city.
Not Jersey City.
No. It's really close to New York City.
Okay, so like Hoboken-ish.
Yeah, it's like as soon as you get into New Jersey, it's right there.
Damn.
He has a house. He has his apartment in the city because he works in the city, and then every other weekend he's off. So him and his wife, they go to Jersey. But yeah, I called him yesterday, and the water had left, but there was still the residue left over of
the mold
of the water, and like he had brand new furniture in the basement, and
oh damn.
yeah, so it's,
Dang.
so he's dealing with that. He's cleaning it up. The worst part is that he couldn't figure out where the water was even coming from. It's like because
hopefully
they
he
had
got a USAA renters insurance.
Yeah, but I talked to him about that. But you know how New Yorkers are. He built the basement without having all the permits for it, so it's not covered under the insurance.
Oh damn!
You know, New Yorkers are always trying to be scammed some way somehow. That's how we are. We just like that, man. It's in our nature.
Damn, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
But yeah, man, he'll be all right. My brother went in and helped him out, so he's good. But yeah, we're almost at the hour mark. Don Heavy, thank you for joining us, man. Your perspective is always valued.
No doubt. Thank you.
Matt, appreciate you. We'll be back at it this week. We'll probably take Labor Day off and then go back at it.
Nah. Money never sleep. We take no days off, man.
All right. But yeah, Don Heavy, if you ever can't jump on, we're trying to go live. Where you at?
I'm in North Carolina.
Located? All right, so on your so Eastern time between 11 and 12, we go live every day to talk about what's going on in the markets. So yeah, if you ever can't tune in, we're live every single day. Let me add Brian back in here. Yo, Brian, any last thoughts, any last comments or anything before we?
Oh man, thank you guys for having me on this. I learned so much.
This guy.
Nah, for real, I did. You guys got gems.
George, I want to say I'm not gonna put his government out there, but Brian is like well connected. Wow,
that's great.
Wow, that's great. he was literally born in a Wall Street lobby. Literally. Literally. Am I lying?
Yeah, I still don't know anything.
Not like all jokes aside, like he's well, like that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah. He's well connected.
So you're saying he's an asset? That's what you're saying.
I'm saying he's an asset. His circle is definitely asset. Definitely.
Good. Well, we happy to meet you, Brian.
Happy to meet you, man.
I'm glad you got something out of it. I'm sure you got some perspective for us. Maybe you'll get on with us one of these days and share your thoughts as well.
So this is an everyday thing.
So every day during lunch, we're gonna go live and talk about what's going on in the markets. You know, we also have this segment. We're not doing it today, but it's called Smash or Pass, where we talk about you know, we bring out different tickers, either cryptocurrency or stocks, and then we give our perspective if we think it's worth buying right now, or you know, we're gonna pass on it.
That's fly.
Yeah, something we're
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Let's fly.
But yeah, I appreciate
11 a.m.
Yeah, as always, invest in us and press that like button. Invest in yourself and smash that subscribe button. It costs you nothing. Until next time.